Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Chameleon Girl Gina, and today, as you guys can see by the title, we're going to be making some tamales. I'm basically going to show you guys how to make the filling, which what I'm going to be using for mine is going to be a really good cut of like a chuck roast. And I'm actually going to pop it into my Instapot over here. And I'll bring you guys in over there in a minute. But I'm going to put this in my Instapot for a couple of hours, okay? Get that real tender. Now, if it was up to me, I would have cooked it maybe slow in my slow cooker or overnight. But I didn't think about it. And then I just decided last minute that I'm going to make it. Last minute, I decided I'm going to share it with you guys. So then also what we're going to use is just a little bit, well, we're going to say maybe a pound of ground beef. That's ground chuck, that is. And then we're going to use like a pound of Mexican style chorizo sausage. I hope y'all can see that. Let me see there. Ooh. Anyway, if it was up to me, I would just use some form of sausage because that's going to enhance this flavor. It's going to be flavor. Your mouth gonna get happy. There's so much flavor in there, but not salty, okay? And so I just like, for me, I like to add a bunch of different Mexican style seasonings and go easy on the salt, however, okay? It's just merely some chili powder, just regular chili powder, not smoked, no need for it to be all expensive. I love these. This is a taco sauce. And it's like in a packet that's already prepared. And I also like to add some enchilada sauce packets. I like fajita sauce packets. And what else? Taco, let me see, as well as another one. It'll just have like this, taco. Okay, and then I'm going to hit it off with a little bit of accent to taste. Okay, and then what else are we going to use? We're going to use some garlic. Not a bunch, but we're going to have some of that. Hope it's not blurry, y'all. And then we're going to do some onion powder as well. And maybe a little bit of garlic salt. Did I say cumin? Okay, so we're going to use cumin. And I'm trying to see if I have some Mexican oregano. This may come in handy, some tomato sauce, because you want the inside of it to be able to, you know, move around, like just a moistness. What I'm going for and what the outcome of my tamales, less masa, more meat, and moisture. So if you want to hear more about this 88-year-old recipe, stick around and we're going to get started. Okay guys, so right quick we're going to start adding our seasoning. I'm first of all going in with the taco mix, and this was already open, so I probably used a hint of that. So anyway, we're going to toss that in there. And keep in mind that we're going, just like if you would use about one of these packets for your tacos per pound, then we're going to kind of do it that way. So in total, with the chuck roast, which I got 2 small ones, so it totals about 3 pounds. And then I got another pound of this Mexican style sausage that we're going to cook separately, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. And then the next thing that we're going to add in there is some, and my tamales finna be mild. So what I'm kind of saying is, if you guys want it to be spicy, like when you're in, go ahead and start fooling around with the ghost peppers and cayenne and that different type of thing. I want my mild because I have a family that is younger or older, and our taste buds, you know what I mean? I don't want nobody mouth burned, okay? So I got some fajita seasoning, and all these mixed together is gonna cause the whole fireplace to be lit, okay? Whole house gonna be litty. And I will also say this: if something makes my mom happy to where she asks for it daily, especially at her age, I'm telling you, girl, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be good. So anyway, I added a pack right so far of enchilada, fajita, and taco seasoning. Now keep in mind that all those things do have some type of salt in there, okay? And so then the next thing I'm gonna do is add some little extra onion powder. Okay. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is add some cumin. We're gonna do about a teaspoon. Let's see here, hold on. A little over a teaspoon here. Just measure it in the top. Don't fill it up, but just put some in there, right? And then, here's where we're finna go kind of hard on this seasoning, which is gonna be some chili powder. So I'm gonna add, I love chili powder, so I'm gonna add a whole teaspoon and a half. We're gonna say, look, boom. That may actually be closer to 3/4, okay, of a teaspoon. Now, what I'm going to do is dab, just to make my hands be able to glide over this, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of just olive oil, light olive oil, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this all the way mixed up. Okay, so I'm gonna just get that all the way mixed up. I'm gonna just coat it in there like so. And today, just for the sake of time, what we're gonna do is now this is actually like a Mexican style rub, you would call it, okay? You could definitely describe it that way. And so what we're gonna do, because I ain't got that much time, y'all, I'm gonna be using my Instapot to prepare this meat, right? And I'm gonna cook it for a couple of hours in there. Now, easily you could take this, if you don't use an Instapot or a pressure cooker, or you're afraid to use them, because some people are, you could easily take and put this on at about midnight or before you go to bed, and it'll be really good and tender by morning. But this has to be really tender because it's, you know, we want people to be able to chew and not acting like their jaws are sore because it's so tough, okay? So I'm gonna move you guys over here with me to the Instapot, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next, okay? Okay guys, so now that we have done that, we went ahead and we had seasoned the meat like I showed you guys. So I'm gonna drop it right off into my Instapot, right? And then to the Instapot, I'm going to add about that much water, which is 3/4 cup. Not a lot at all, because we don't want it juicy and all that. But we do want enough water so that when we go ahead and, you know, get to, putting this meat mixture into the food processor, we're going to want it to be pliable, but we don't want it to burn in the Instapot. Instapot is hard to burn stuff, but it is possible. Anything is possible in life. And so anyway, that was the taco skillet sauce mix. Okay. And so I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I see that that's kind of thick there, and I'm just adding it to that, what I'm trying to see here, y'all, to that pouch. I'm adding a little water to that pouch. I could get all the ingredients out of there. So at this point, we're up to, if we're looking at it, we're up to about 1.5 cups of water. Now guys, then the next ingredient we're gonna add is some taco sauce. The hardest part of making tamales to me is the masa. So I'm not gonna show you guys these little tips, the little tricks that I have to do to get mine to come out, because I'm not real confident, but I'm extremely confident in the feeling, honey. So anyway, now what we're gonna do is go ahead and just kind of push that on down in there. And we're gonna poke a few holes into our meat to allow it to be that much more tender. And we're gonna do it against the grain. And y'all remember that the water produces, the meat produces water, guys, okay? All right, so anyway, that's how that should be looking, just down in there with all that goodness. Take and put you a little garlic in there too, y'all. Don't be afraid of the seasonings. Not on no Mexican food. And you know, the thing I will also share with you guys, another reason why Mexican food is so high up on my list as to foods that I love is because Hispanic people, they are not afraid of flavor. So now with that being said, just put all your good flavors in there, whatever your favorites are. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to turn it to meat on this Instapot here. And I'm going to cook this for probably, I'm going to do 2 hours. Do we want 120? Over 2 hours, actually. I'm going to go 150 minutes. And anyway, I'm just going to quickly show you guys, because some people have questions about the Instapot. But anyway, after you have turned it on, you're going to select what you want to do. So I'm going to zoom on that. And yeah, it's not as intimidating as it may seem. But so in this case, I selected that I want to cook a meat or a stew, whatever. And then remember, I did a 150 minutes. And this is on a hot temperature, like it's extra hot. And then, of course, that's all you have to do. Just turn it on, go to meat, and set the amount of time, you know, which is right here. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get to cutting these roasts down, just so that they'll be, you know, already small enough to fit in the food processor. And so anyway, we're going to definitely cut against the grain. Now that the meat is all cut up pretty fine, I'm going to have my daughter add a half a teaspoon of garlic. And then I'm going to have her add 1/4 onion powder. I'm also going to add a little sprinkle of enchilada seasoning. Okay, just a little bit. What is that, onion?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna turn this down.
Okie dokie.
I have a little water on it. Okay. Now, at this time, this is what we got, and we're going to go ahead and give it a whisk. Because you want this to be flavorful right here, because what's going to happen is, as this is in the food processor, you can also use a blender, or what you could just shred it with your hands. Just make sure your meat is real, real tender. And anyway, I'm going to give this a little stir. And then I'm going to check and see, you know, the whole flavor profile, just to make sure it's seasoned enough, because the meat alone is not going to hold in those seasonings, because it wasn't marinated meat anyway. Now we're going to take and put the meat and let it go in there. So now that we have the meat in there, guys, we're going to add some of the liquid to the food processor. Just because it makes your, you know, it just makes it more pliable. We're not going to add a lot, though. Just a little at a time, because we don't want it to overflow on the fill line. So let's get going. this time, because I put it after, we're going to add a little bit more of the sauce. This is all the flavor that we're adding in there. We're going to take this and place it back on. We're going to pulse again. Break it. Add more of the seasoned. And as you guys can probably get my drift, we'll just continue. So now guys, I have my ground up meat, which is some of the Mexican sausage and some hamburger. And the only thing that this meat really does is it gives that really more of an intense seasoning with the Mexican style sausage, and it just makes them more heartier, you know. So that's what we're using. So now we're gonna go ahead and begin to pulse our meat, this ground beef, and it's ground, but we still want it fine, real fine. So we're just stuffing it down in there again. And then we're going to put some ground beef. Ground beef and ground sausage in there, like for the heartiness. And then we're going to have shredded and ground. Because remember, I'm just pulsing mine. I'm not like going all the way. But it's just going to make the ground beef finer. Now guys, what I end up doing is adding more of everything. So more chili powder, more garlic, more, what else do we add? Accent, more black pepper, more white pepper, more cumin, more, I think it was either taco or fajita mix. And now I'm going to marry these, and 2 tablespoons of oil, because we want this moist. We don't want it runny, but we want it moist enough, because have you ever had a tamale and the inside of it, the meat was just like dry? Tamales are a lot of work, and you know, black people, that's a piece of gristle. We don't want none of that. Black people, some black people, some Hispanic people, we do chitlins, and we think that chitlins is a lot of work, and they are. But honey, these tamales, much work as chitlins. To me, it takes hours. It takes a long time, especially if you're making enough where you're going to be selling them and all that. So anyway, with that being said, this mix is on fire. And now I'm going to show you guys the next step. So stay tuned. I find, I guess, that sometimes people, they may not want to add that much meat, because a lot of time people, when they sell it, you know, they may not want to do that. But I have told people that sold tamales, like, you know, I could give you more money to make it meaty. Come on, man, you good. You cool. Thank you. Be careful not to knock my stuff over. There. You're good. So anyway, that's the meat versus, oh yes, the massa's everywhere. The meat is there. That's how much of the masa is everywhere. The meat, but that's quite a bit of meat. Anyway, I put it down, and then I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna roll it over, pressing down, right? That's just what I'm doing, right? Do what I do. I think, you know, some people like fold it. Oh, this one I may tie at the end. Anyway, I just kind of want to do like that. Yeah, but, yeah, what I was trying to get at is that my mother, she would put the masa in a ball. Then she would take it and roll it out. Then after she rolled it out to the desired thinness, these is not working. I'm gonna leave it like that, although I hate to. But it's not going anywhere. So anyway, that's the tamale. But yeah, she used to definitely set up. She would slave, and yeah, I was greatly appreciated. The problem is that I didn't understand, you know, how it was just back-breaking. Now at this time, I'm gonna go on to the next one. You know, I would just sit up here and cut it with the fork, but I'm pretty tired. I fell asleep in there. But see all that meat in there? That meat filling? Instead of that thick masa. I see here. It's good. I know it's good, so.
There we go. She takes a cat. Yes, it does.
That's good. There's that true goodness that you could just enjoy. What I can't stand about tamales, see how that meat filling and that thin masa. What I can't stand about tamales is that they are fattening, and I'll sit there and really eat more than, you know, like potato chips. You can't eat just one. These are good. But anyway, that's it. So thank you guys for keeping me company while I go through this process. And if you do me a favor, I appreciate it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless.